Welcome to the Blazing Pucks podcast.
Oh, shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Victor Manuel.
And I am your other host, Carmichael Manfredi. Guys, we're back. Thank you for joining us for episode 74 of the Blazing Pucks podcast, the Canucks podcast you listen to when your kids are not around. Victor, holy shit, it's been a hot minute. The fucking Four Nations is on. By the time you guys listen to this, it'll be Thursday morning, and Canada, USA, we will just be absolutely horned up waiting for this game by the time this comes out. Victor, how are you doing, my friend?
Holy fuck, I am doing a-okay, man. Feels like, it's been a minute. Life gets in the way, but guess what? Go fuck yourself, listener. We're there, okay? We're back. We're doing our shit. And things are fucking looking pretty spicy from the way how the Canucks play has ended before the Four Nations. The whole JT Miller now being gone and getting fucking Marcus Patterson, Drew O'Connor in the mix. And then this Four Nations delivering beyond anyone's expectation. It's a fucking whirlwind, brother. How are you doing, Carm?
Oh, sorry, man. I was muted there for a quick second. Oh, man.
Fucking technology.
Yeah, no kidding. I really couldn't have said it any better though on your end. There's just so much to catch up on. Especially going back to the last few games the Canucks played before we had this Four Nations break. Four Nations itself. You and I also watched that Team Canada USA game together on Saturday. That bar was wild. It was just incredible. And especially with hockey. I mean, that was exactly what hockey needed. So I'm feeling pretty good about where the game's going right now.
Me too. This Four Nations tournament really, I don't know if it's all just the things that are lining up at the right time, but this Four Nations really ignited the passion again of Canadians, Americans across the board. That fucking Saturday game, I can't even begin to tell you how fucking emotional every one of us, yes, we were together at a bar, how we got, you were revved up like a fucking engine.
I didn't sit down.
No,
for those of you listening,
really.
The minute that Matthew Tkachuk and Brandon Hagel dropped the gloves, I got up out of the booth and I couldn't sit down for the rest of the game.
You just stood up the whole time after, and for good reasons, because we got to see two more fights after that in less than a minute.
Yeah.
And bro, there is, you know what? It's just clearly you can tell that the hockey world missed what best on best international hockey looks like with actual current best of the best modern NHL players.
100%.
Man, I don't even know where we can unpack and start all of this. I'm sure the listeners are obviously too, where they're like, holy shit, yes, everyone's got a story. I feel like that game was monumental, but
like I said to you earlier, it's a core memory for me. And I think one thing that can really help break it down is just the fact that we all growing up, right? Whether you played hockey like a lot of us Canadian boys did, or whether you did, we all got together and watched games. I mean, hey, fuck the Golden Goal. You were in my basement for that too back in high school, right?
2010, bro.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, man. This country, we gathered for moments like that. And then especially, in the States, maybe not so much, but, as the sport's been growing and as this has been kind of something that's been teetering in the background, especially with the U.S. putting out some pretty disappointing performances in the last two best on best that they were, a part of. So now, and we've kind of I was saying to you before, we kind of had this best on best blue balls, and it's something that is very unique to hockey.
It really is.
I don't know if you remember the 2002 Olympics, but I remember staying up late and thinking it was so cool and watching Joe Sakic just go absolutely nuts on the U.S. team in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I kind of do remember that. Not not fully. I feel like I'd have to like revisit the YouTube videos to like gain my memories back. But obviously, like 2010 still stays prominent in my mind.
Of course.
Um, and I mean, I don't consider that 2016 World Cup of Hockey thing to be counted as for international best on best. That one was a bit of a flunk. So the last time we truly had anything competitive international hockey was 2014's Olympics of Sochi.
And that
And
wasn't even close, too. Like Canada ran away with that gold medal.
yeah, they really did. And it didn't have the same kind of impact that 2010 had. But dude, this now has skyrocketed and reminded the hockey world and the sport world, period. Now that other sports are taking notice and re-talking about hockey, you know, fucking the NBA. It's not, sorry to drive off on tangent, but the NBA right now is getting a lot of slack. They're getting a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
slack for two big things. One is, how the All-Star games are flunking and they're being poorly done, and the players really don't care that much anymore. And two, overall, the load management and the way how they like sit out. Yeah, load management for sure. Why don't you
Yeah.
fucking manage this load, you fucking NBA players, huh?
Yeah, that's something of the sort was exactly what was going through my mind. Get out of my fucking
You got
head.
it. No, but like that's what they call it. Load management, fucking resting your stars, or like
No, not
it's like
November.
it's like scratching McDavid on a back to back on the second half of a back to back just so he can fucking chill. Like no other reasons for that. Like the fans of that sport are furious, and someone on Twitter, I guess, was saying something to Kevin Durant about it, and Kevin Durant literally replied where he's like, "Man, you know what? Like, if you want, like, if that's what you're looking for, go watch hockey. Like, go get into that. Look at what they're doing, right?" And like, I'm cool with that because then that means, hey, you're telling people in basketball, oh, you want this? Fucking go watch a different sport. Guess what? Yeah, that'll help with us for growing the
Dude, such a
game.
basketball player response too.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, if you don't like it, go do that. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, I think there was I can't remember what the post was or something of the sort, but it was like how LeBron James didn't play because of like foot discomfort.
Yeah.
And then, oh fuck, who was it? I can't remember, but it's just constantly going back and forth. So I agree with you. I mean, yeah, put some more light on the game, right? And especially with and I'll be honest with you too, the NFL, the Pro Bowl, it's not what it used to be either.
Yeah, for sure. I never really watched the Pro Bowl. That was not something
Neither have I. I'll be
yeah.
honest.
But yeah, I know that the Pro Bowl is what technically like their all-star type thing is with the pros.
Yeah,
But no, dude, you know what? The NHL has really struck gold with pulling off the four nations over the All-Star. Like,
yeah,
oh, like let's bring this back from literally the first shift of the first game.
yeah,
Canada versus fucking Sweden. McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, all those guys just fucking flying out.
yeah.
Like,
Like it was wild, man. And then the power play, like it was such hype before, and the power play took what, all of 3 seconds to score
yeah, with the fucking that beauty ass fucking backhand pass
from
from
Crosby.
Crosby. Like, bro, Crosby is Captain Canada. How the
Yeah.
fuck does he still have it at such a high level at 37? Like,
Dude,
what
I'll
the
tell you how. I will tell you how right now because he is easily the most hardworking and most driven human being that has ever walked the planet. Like, and I'm saying this right now. I'm totally a Crosby dick rider. I don't care. I'll admit it. He's the best. I think he is literally the perfect hockey player. He sets the standards for everybody else.
This is a safe space. I appreciate you being vulnerable, but I also hope you get fucking face punched by a gorilla. And I say this in the way that I mean.
Yes, yes. I'm picking up what you're throwing down, my friend.
Like I hope fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin just comes out of nowhere and just fucking Stone Cold stunners you. And then, how dare you? No, I'm kidding. You know what?
No, you know what? I got a response to that. I hope Randy Orton comes and bangs your wife in the future, then RKO's you and makes you say sorry.
Fuck. We're over stream right now, but that's a gentleman's touche handshake.
That's
Right
the
there.
touche handshake. Let's go.
That's good. I hope you get Batista bombed into a tub of acid. Anyways, we're horrible here at this fucking thing. Okay, let's bring it back. I only say that because, of course, for listeners who don't know, I originally grew up with being an Ovi Dick rider and obviously barking and peeking at Crosby. But within the last 10 years, especially even more as the years have gone on closer, it is hard not to like Crosby. Like Crosby is the definition of like what a dedicated, versatile, and incredibly well like mannered athlete looks like.
Totally.
And he's still doing things that even when you write him out or think that okay, maybe Crosby's gonna slow down, Crosby shows you that he's like, no, I still got another like 3-4 years in the tank right now. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, he's this Four Nations tournament, he's showing that to the world still.
Yeah.
Like, he's been their best player overall.
He has. The first game for sure. Against the US, he definitely struggled a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I think they limited his minutes a little bit last game, which was fine. But dude, especially that first game, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that first game he took over for sure. Like, he showed he still has it. Honestly, just I feel like Crosby, McDavid, fucking McKinnon, McCarr, and what is it? Was it Reinhardt on the first power play?
That's right.
That seems like a fucking broken NHL cheat code game.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Like,
going back to NHL, like 05 when you can trade everybody to one team, right? And then you just have all these nutty guys on the power play, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly, right. And you pick like the Phoenix Coyotes back then because they were just god awful. Well, I mean, they never really grew out of that. Yeah, that's what, and you know what? That's how it looked on that first shift against Sweden. I mean, I think the Canadian players went out there and they were like, fuck it, this is our home. We're going to play. I think Sweden was like, holy shit, these guys are actually going to take this seriously.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's what it seemed like.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like Sweden and Finland, they're there obviously because they're happy. They were happy to be there. You could tell the players were stoked. And then once they saw how Canada and US was showing up, they're like, okay, fuck, we got to bring our A game. But I think the biggest thing that mattered to them was to see who would beat the other when it came to them.
That's what it was.
That game was actually pretty incredible.
It was a great game.
Wicked game, and what a comeback win for fucking Finland. And even Patrick Laine said it himself, man. He's like, we're the big brothers now. Like, we're the big dogs, bitch. Like, fuck.
And dude, they did that while missing Heiskanen too, arguably like their best defenseman.
Yeah, that is true. That is really true. And
Patrick Laine also being on like coming away from injury, definitely did not have a full training camp under his belt. Everything going wrong for the poor guy, but still, man, and him not at 100%, right? So yeah. I think that was a great turnout, especially for Finland. Sweden looked a little, they looked a little. I was a little disappointed with Sweden, but I know we're gonna get into this as well too. But with Petey.
Of course, 100%, man. But
since we're on the Four Nations here, obviously I want to wrap up the whole combo. So let's go right to that US Canada game on Saturday. Let's just break that down. So the game starts immediately with the Matt Tkachuk Brandon Hagel fight, which oh man, that was the whole reason I was passed out by 9:30 that night. That whole start to the game, man. Guys, listen, I don't drink very often, guys, but man, that night I was fucking hammered, man.
Yeah, you're fucking blasted for sure.
I did not last very long that night. I went home, I passed out. But anyway, that game, that goal happened, and then McDavid scores that fantastic goal.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, the beauty fucking speeds right through the bullet, cuts through the defense, nice backhand top corner.
100%. Now, one thing I wanted to point out, and I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but I think I kind of understand where Oilers fans are getting pissed off about the non-calls on McDavid now.
Yeah,
he was on my team because I remember right after they scored, he got held, and that whole thing happened on that one play. And it happened a lot. They were taking runs at him. And just the sheer fact that, like, I've seen that now and the guy's still standing. And like, I'm like, fuck, this guy's a lot stronger than we give him credit for.
Without a doubt. I definitely it's crazy. Change the jersey on the player and you have a fucking completely different opinion about him, right?
Completely different perspective, man.
This man's not even just fucking representing a team we like. He's representing a damn country that we live in and we grew up in, right? So
that's right.
Yeah, so no, I noticed that too. When I rewatched the highlights, I was like, shit, man, they really are going after McDavid. They're really going after McKinnon, like doghousing them. But you got to give credit to the States, though, man. They play a really good physical game, and they knew how to play defensively really well afterwards.
Yeah, they knew how to shut it down. They also knew exactly where to shoot on Binnington to score.
Yeah, we all knew Binnington was going to be the weakest link for the reason why Canada would lose.
Yeah, one without a doubt. Without a doubt. Like that Jake Gensel goal, right, 5-hole, like, fuck. You want to have that one back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's definitely going to be a breaking point. But, man, it doesn't matter. This Thursday game, it's going to be huge.
Oh, dude, it's going to be a doozy. I don't think they're going to start off scrapping.
Yeah,
they're definitely going to let the hockey do a good chunk of the talking for the final. But, you know, without a doubt, knowing how tensions were fucking already flaring up, there's going to be some scraps throughout the game. There has to be. Big scrums. Maybe the players might a little bit try to keep a notch down because they obviously are going to go back into the regular season on Saturday.
That's right.
But
a lot of these guys play with each other, I should say.
Exactly. They play against, right? But no, I think the NHL, the players, the fans, and the organization, like as a whole, the league as a whole, really needed this to hit, and holy fuck, did they make it hit. And it reminds me as a Canadian now that what Brandon Hagel said. I don't know if you heard his comments.
Yeah.
Stuff. Because for the listeners who don't know, Matthew Tkachuk, Brady Tkachuk, JT Miller, they mentioned that they were in like a group chat together and that they wanted to like get something going up with like starting scraps. Brandon Hagel is not a fighter at the very one bit, right? He doesn't scrap, but the man knew that he wasn't going to take shit, and he did it all for the flag. Like, if that doesn't tell you how passionate Canadians are when it comes to hockey and just in general, like, I don't know what will. And it fired me up. Like,
dude, that fired me right up. So like, we're not in group chats. It's like, I did it for the flag, not for the cameras. That's such a Canadian response. Such a Canadian response.
Straight up, dude. It is. Like, and I love that. I love that a lot. Too. So, yeah, fucking Thursday. Let's go, Canada. States, if you fucking take it, fuck you. But as long as it's a good battle. But go Canada, bro.
It's going to be a great battle. And you know what, US, it's about fucking time you joined us here on top. Because now we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the other thing, too. Since last times when we've had the international best on best, the USA has really developed their hockey program. And like they've been creating outstanding players. Dude, they don't even have Hughes with them in this fucking. So, yeah, man, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna love it. Let's transition though and talk a little bit, not about Four Nations, but let's talk about the Canucks players and how it showed up for them on the Four Nations. So
definitely.
We mainly have two.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Lankinen.
Carm. What do you say we start with the easy one? Let's start with Lankinen.
Yes, I'm down. Carm, talk to us about Lankinen. What do you think of our boy Lanky?
Honestly, I liked Lankinen. I thought I felt for him against Canada, to be honest with you.
Big time.
I felt for him because, I mean, what's the guy going to do? Right? Like the guy that McDavid blew past on the first goal there. The guy had a total of 16 games of NHL experience? He's had nothing.
Yeah, I think I remember you mentioning that before too.
So like it was I can't remember exactly who it was, but I remember them talking about it. So it was a complete mismatch on that end. So I do feel for Lankinen, and I thought he showed up when he needed to for the Finns, and I thought he was a big reason why they ended up taking that win over Sweden and why they were even at all in the mix for the final game on Thursday.
Yeah, big time. Like, he really held down the fort against Sweden, especially when they were losing. What was it? Was it 3-0, 3-1, something
I
in
think it
that
was
range?
3-1, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was wild. I thought he did what he had to do. I felt bad that he got pulled in the last game, though.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, when again,
I didn't feel too bad because it was Canada, but
like that's all I wanted to make. One of the jokes I wanted to make was I'm like, I swear he's a double agent for us. He was
he
being a
totally
double
is.
agent for us. So we love you, Lankinen. We'll find a way to sign you.
Yeah, especially
But
with now Demko being out.
yeah, which I'm sure we can touch on that soon too. But yeah, I really like Lankinen's play. I think again, what goalie that isn't known to be an elite caliber level goalie not gonna shamble and shake a bit when they're going against Crosby, McDavid, fucking McKinnon, McCarr, all those guys running at you with high octane because they obviously want to prove something and they need to win. Like
100%.
Yeah. Shout out to the Finns. Shout out to Lankinen. I liked his performance overall. And his performance for me makes you feel happy that he's a Canuck.
Me too.
On the other hand, the other person though. And
the other one.
Dude, Patterson.
Did we expect that he was just gonna flip a switch and be like old school Petey though?
Am I a fucking idiot for thinking yes?
That's the whole other thing. It's like, did I expect him to be old Petey? No. Did I expect him to kick it up a notch? Absolutely, I did.
Yeah.
And it just looked more of like they were saying it perfectly on 650. I can't remember what show it was. I think it was Canucks Central. Either way, it was just pretty much Speedy all summer. Like there was all season, I should say. There was moments where he looked fantastic, and there's other moments where he looked like Bambi. He can't string it together consistently. Like, is it time that we just accept that this is not going to happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like, and it seemed like it was going to be something pretty promising. I think that's what makes the disappointment factor a little more, like it has a little more weight to it for me.
Totally.
Because clearly they're like, yeah, okay, PD, go have fun. Don't think about shit. Just fucking play. And guess what? You're going to have some sick line mates with you, bro. You got Forsberg. You got, like, he's played throughout that tournament in the rotation with having Forsberg, fucking Nylander, Bratt, damn, who else? I'm missing someone else. Kempe.
Yeah.
Quality fucking names on his wing. And ultimately the tournament ended in being limited with a 3C type role.
Yeah. He played less than 10 minutes in their only win against Finland. Or against the US, I should say. Sorry.
Damn. Yeah. And he did not look like at any point he did not look like someone who was making a difference on the ice when he was on there for Sweden.
Yeah. At no point did he look like that.
No. And listen, like you mentioned about 650 saying, hey, yeah, it's going the way how the season went for him, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess maybe I didn't expect him to go old Petey, but at least play a little bit better for your country and show the world that you can still do some things on a grand scale. And that really broke more confidence than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's gotten to the point now where, I mean, the Canucks are going to have to really make a hard decision this year because, I mean, if you look at their team now, right? I mean, hey, Filipino has been fantastic in the games that he's come in. He's been excited. He seems to have re-energized a good portion of the group because him and O'Connor, those guys are just very excited to be there, which is awesome. Yeah. But we need that number one center. We need that guy. Realistically, if Petey can get going and Hedl can, and I mean, I know it's only been a few games, so I don't want to get, too excited here. But if Hedl can be a true 2C, all of a sudden we're talking about now, especially with our bolstered up D line, and we do have Lankinen in net, who I would trust in the playoff run.
Yes.
right? You think about it, we have the pieces, the GMs have done their job to bring in the right guys,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like the guys for now have worked. But what this team is missing and what we thought we had all along are the same exact fucking thing, which I think is really frustrating for this fan base. I know for myself, that's where I'm getting annoyed.
Yeah, I think what makes this frustrating for me when I think about it is that you played phenomenal again for the first few years in your NHL career. You showed up to the league as a force and something that wasn't really to be reckoned with. And through that, you had this belief and desire to be like, you know what? Yeah, I know what I'm worth. I deserve to get paid well. And that's what I'm going to aim for when that time comes with the contract. Great. And all management really wanted in the end from him last season was we just want an answer sooner than later, dude. Like, you sticking with us or are you going to go fuck off? Because if you're going to go fuck off, we're going to trade you, right? We're not going to just make you fuck off. We're going to get some stuff for you, which was the whole package of the Nature's deal that was on the table. But so PD chose to stay. PD is the one that wanted the money. PD is the one that chose to stay. And then since then, bro has been a ghost. Now, the knee stuff, the tendonitis, the way it's flared up, great. I get it. That sucks. And I hope if that's truly the issue, don't fucking let your pride get in the way if he's the one not wanting to get help, but rehabilitate it, sit out. Like, management is more than happy. You can see with the way how they're dealing with Demko, how they've dealt with Miller and stuff. Like they'll give you the time off. But you know, it's the fact that you wanted this, you disappeared all of a sudden, where they're saying it's not an injury thing. And like we got the whole drama thing sorted out. What fucking more do you need in order to help you get better? Like,
Yeah.
like we're all running out of answers. I'm sure they are too.
And I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure if Patrick Alvin could, he'd be pulling
Mhm.
the hairs off the top of his head. But obviously he can't do that because
Yeah.
God bless him. But there's nothing up there. But I mean, they've given this guy exactly like you said everything that they need. Okay, maybe it was his line mates. They go sign Jake DeBrusk, right?
Mhm.
Who is a great skilled line mate to be having there. And now he's got Jake
Absolutely.
DeBrusk and Brock Besser on his line, or he was playing for a little bit. Plus, he had all those players in Sweden. So, like, part of me wants to say, like, maybe we do need to trade him, and he needs like a fresh start for
Mhm.
some team that's willing to, give him a chance. But then on the other end, I mean, maybe it wasn't a big enough sample size, but he also went and played with some world class players and still couldn't do shit.
Mhm. Yeah, and the other part for me that I worry about, I agree with you. Like, yeah, I wonder too, is it truly that time to trade that mofo and get whatever we
Mm-hmm.
can, even though it would suck trading him at one of his lowest values. The thing that I'm worried about is if we do trade him, let's say there's a scenario we do trade him and he pops off somewhere else and we don't have anybody else to come in to take the one seat. I know you were
Yeah.
mentioning and talking about Filipino, who yes, looks dynamic to start with the Canucks, though small sample size. But the biggest thing about Filipino is he's injury prone, right? And it's
Yeah.
concussion related too. So that's no joke. And if he can't stay healthy, where the fuck else are we gonna get our center from? Like,
Yeah.
and if PD pops off and it's an Eichel type situation where the organization he leaves and the one he goes into, he becomes the fucking man and goes back to being himself, that's gonna suck for us even more. And I think that is definitely going to reflect on management.
Um, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how much I would if that was the case
Mhm.
of him ripping it up somewhere else. I don't know personally if I would be quick to put it on management. And the reason that I say that is because PD's gone through this before with different coaches and different perspectives and whatever. The difference is maybe the price tag has him a little shell shocked. I'm not sure, but I think it's just a him thing. I think he just realistically maybe he needs a new. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he can figure it the fuck out. But at this point, it's like I don't want to be stuck with 11.6 for the next 8 years. If he's going to be playing, to like a Jonathan Huberdeau type situation, even though he's having a bit of a resurgence this year.
Yeah, and I hear you, man. And that's the other thing too, right? Like the other avenue is that we do hold on to him because of what we know he can be and because of what his track record has shown before, and tough out and to hope and see that, maybe if it takes another season or two, but this fucking guy gets back to whatever form he can get to. The only issue at that point is then we'd be talking about, okay, well, Quinn Hughes' contract would be up. Does he even want to stay now?
Yeah.
Demko too. Obviously, we have no clue what's happening with Besser. A lot of it right now, from what it looks like, feels very unpredictable. And when we're talking about
oh, you went on mute there, brother.
Ha ha ha! Fucking tech. As I was saying, though, it's the perfect time to talk about our ad sponsors for the show, DraftKings, because the NHL season has been as predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going, but that just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out and games left for you to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. You can go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bets. And if you are new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Blue Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the NHL National Hockey League. NHL and NHL team marks are the property of the NHL and its teams. 2025 rights, all rights reserved. Boom. The ad read is fully done, and we will get into this. So we're talking about PD, and my co-host here is on mute. What a guy. I think we're all fucking dealing with some technical issues right now.
No, I purpose. I was typing in the time of the ad read there for you. I didn't want to have my keyboard in the background.
You are a sexy motherfucker for doing that.
No, thanks,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and don't get it, don't get it twisted. Fuck you, but
fuck you too. No,
oh man. Last thing to go over today is we just got news today on the Tuesday, and my host is on mute again. But the Drew O'Connor signed for 2 years and $2.5 million. I think that's a steal, especially with the cap going up next year. And he provides some much needed speed on the back end there, on the back end and the bottom six, I should say.
That too. I mean, both. Well, you know what? Yeah, you hit it perfectly on the head. With the cap going up, this is going to be a steal. 2 years, 2.5. He so far has shown to be a great fit for the bottom six and potentially some ceiling to be a middle six player. He's got a wicked shot, great speed, and he's big.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
What more do you want? Like that penalty shot goal that he scored was incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking incredible. I really like what he brings, and clearly Rutherford, Alvin, they know Pittsburgh players better than anybody else.
Yes.
So they know that Drew O'Connor can bring something to the team that this team is missing. And from what I've been seeing, we do miss some speed. We miss some tenacity. Rick Tocchet has been clear about that. Tired of the dump and chase. Let's go forward. Let's hold on to the puck. Let's build some plays. Drew O'Connor is a player that does that. I see
Yep.
him make speedy entry zones, um, holds on to the puck, uses his body, and yeah, he's a great forechecker from the looks of it. So no hate on that. We
No, I
also got
love it.
Marcus Pettersson too, dude.
We did. Marcus Pettersson, that also seems like a steal. One of those guys, and I understand where people were coming from with Marcus Pettersson now, or one of those guys where you don't notice a lot in the lineup, but that's not a bad thing. And like you love having him back there, and he makes the right plays. He does what he needs to do.
True. Very true. And I think that's what we've been dying for a while, especially not just like any defenseman, but like a top four quality defenseman
Yes,
who across the league, Marcus Pettersson is known as that.
exactly.
And he is showing us that. And you know what? He has yet to play with Quinn Hughes. Like in the sense that the
With
games
him in the
we've
lineup.
seen, yeah, he hasn't been in the lineup, right? Obviously, Hughes has been dealing with his injury. He was finally practicing with the Canucks today, so that's a good sign. But yeah, the nice thing is that out of nowhere, it seems like our blue line has become a lot more sturdier, a lot more secure, and something that, as long as obviously everyone stays as healthy as possible, is not going to be an issue for a contending cup run. That is a
Exactly.
solid, that is a solid blue line, head to toe.
Totally.
Mhm.
Totally, right? From head to toe, especially when you consider, the emergence of a guy like Elias Pettersson, right?
Yes.
Who has been turning heads for his physicality and
Mhm.
his tenacity on the back end there, right? And we haven't even seen Victor Mancini yet.
No, we haven't. He got into Abbotsford, so I know he's playing there,
Excellent.
and supposedly he has top four potential. Like I didn't even know that about him. So
Neither did I, honestly. I didn't know much about him. I know he's a WAP, so I love
of course,
it. Bring it
fucking.
on.
Hey, bring it the fuck on, okay? Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. The guy's last name is fucking Mancini. It doesn't get any more whack than that.
Exactly.
Oh man, but yes, and now all of a sudden you're looking at the defense being one of Canucks's weak points. Now it's turning into one of their strengths, right? So it's going to come down to whether or not PD can get his fucking shit together.
Truly, that's where it's at right now. And one more defense prospect that we have to mention too, that in the next 2-3 years will be sick. Hopefully, is Tom Willander.
That's right.
So, like, yeah,
He's
honestly,
also playing in college right now, which is something that I do really like
Mhm.
because he doesn't have to get used to North American ice. He's
No.
already used to it. So, if Abbotsford goes on a playoff run this year, he may join the team.
Yeah, absolutely, which would be great and helpful. And all we can really ask for is his development to just fucking go in the way that it seems projected.
Exactly.
Because in like say 2-3 years from now, a blue line that consists of Hughes, Hronik, Marcus Pettersson, Tom Willander, the DPD,
Yeah.
fucking if I don't know how much longer Susie has left in his contract, if he's
This is
still
last
around.
year.
Okay, then yeah, either Susie or someone at least on the level of Susie, right? Like, and then we still got Myers, right?
Yep.
But like that alone makes me feel okay with our defense.
Me too.
It's just, yeah, fuck our offense now.
Yeah, I know.
Change.
It's something that didn't change from last year. We just got a shittier defense and not much more answers on offense. So
Absolutely.
that's what it seems like. But either way, I can't wait. I'm fucking horned up for this final on Thursday, and I'm also horned up to get the season going again on Saturday for the boys because I don't know about you, man, but I'm ready to see a rejuvenated Canucks team, and hopefully we're able to make a real good push to the playoffs.
Me too, man. I believe like the nice thing is we got a nice little good cushion for the second wild card spot.
That's right.
I think the Canucks, if they have a wicked second half of the season, they'll put themselves in a decent position. And then, yeah, I guess just playoff time, wake the fuck up, right? Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
Let's see what happens, right?
And my only last question, then, I guess maybe before we wrap up the episode here, is do you think we'll sign and extend Besser, or do you think he's gone by trade deadline?
Oh, that's a really tough one.
We're extending everybody else so far.
I know, and that's the thing. We're extending everybody else, but I have a funny feeling that Besser has a different number in mind than what the Canucks are willing to offer him.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm being honest, I would not be surprised if they dealt him because, he's not showing $8 million a year worth with his season this year. And I know he got injured, which sucks, right? But the truth is I don't think the Canucks are comfortable paying him that amount of money.
Yeah, absolutely. You can tell Rutherford and Alvin are the kind to have a hard line in the sand and not budge from it when it comes to the numbers. I mean, the Zadorov Lindholm one is already examples of that. And yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't want to lose Besser, to be honest, because who's going to replace Besser, really? Like,
Yeah.
The only thing that we'd be banking on is like Lecker Mackey having that dynamite goal scoring potential, right?
And that's assuming he can step in next year.
Exactly.
Which I don't think that's not a guy that I wanna rush because he does have the potential to be top six worthy or even top line worthy one day.
Absolutely. And yeah, so far he's shown some blips in his health. Like he'll deal with injuries and stuff. So
yeah,
the last thing you want to do is rush a player that can get injured pretty easily.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't, but yeah, if he really does believe his value is at 8 million, and doesn't want to take anything less, then I don't see us keeping him one bit and finding a way.
I think he'd have a tough time getting that on the open market too, to be honest with you.
He would. Like the only way that he would get it in the open market is if whatever team we trade him to, he fucking lights it up for second half.
Exactly.
And then a team wants to be like, yeah, we'll pay you the 8 mil, right? Like a different team that may need it.
That's true.
But yeah, no, beyond that, like it would be tough because I want to keep Besser, but I would be more happier keeping him at a 6 mil tag price than an 8 mil.
I'd be comfortable going up to 7.5. I'd give him a little bit of a raise because he did hit 40 goals.
True.
Right. But that would be the absolute most that I would give him is maybe 7.5. That I know it maybe sounds stupid for half a mil, but half a mil here, half a mil there adds up over time,
It really does. It does. And I think that's why obviously when it comes to being an NHL GM and having to work with the numbers, sometimes it is based on just a few couple thousands that change the difference in what they want to put in their books and to what the player believes they're worth.
Exactly.
So, fuck, we'll have to wait and find out trade deadline. That's still, I think, a month from now, roughly?
I think it's March. What is it? I think it's the big. I'm gonna look it up right here. It's not very far away.
Yeah, at the very least, I think it's like 4 weeks away off the top of my head, or maybe less.
March 7th.
Fuck, less than 4 weeks.
Yeah, it is in 1 week to about 2.5 weeks. Wild.
Holy shit.
Wild, dude. We're already at this point of the season, which is nuts.
Oh, that freaks me out. I love it.
I love it.
But I'm also going to be so fucking sad whenever hockey season ends. But
let's not talk about it, bro. What do you say we wrap up the episode here?
Yeah, that'd be a perfect time to wrap up the episode. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into episode 74 of the Blazing Pucks podcast you listen to when your kids are not around. Carm, what could you tell the listeners to do if they enjoyed today's episode?
Listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, let us know on Twitter at the Blazing Pucks, at Instagram also at the Blazing Pucks, and also on TikTok. Let us know. Reach out to us. Ask us some questions. We want to interact with you guys. Victor, what can they do if they really like the podcast?
Well, if you really like the podcast, you can hit us up with some 5-star reviews on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you choose to listen to. And you can subscribe to our YouTube at the Blazing Pucks to tune into the live stream recordings that we do every Tuesday, or catch up on the episodes there if that's your preferred platform. And yeah, reach out to us. As Carm mentioned, we are open to hearing questions from the fans, from our listeners and viewers, and share this episode along with people that you think will enjoy our shit. We appreciate your patience throughout the little bit of a break, but in Blazing Pucks fashion, Carm,
Much love.
and go fuck yourself.